Yes. Well, I'm Rubye
Exactly.
Kendrick. Yes. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Rubye Kendrick. I am the new president of the Tyler Smith County League of Women Voters.
Right.
And I have two colleagues on with me, and I'll let them just introduce themselves.
Okay.
Dee?
I'm Dee Pendleton. I'm a new board member for the League of Women Voters, but no stranger to the League of Women Voters. We've been doing Coffee With for a while and a few other projects. So we're glad to have you today, Lindsey.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm Marilyn Wills, and I'm the ex-president, and Rubye and I actually shared that last year.
Yeah, she's the immediate past, as you say, but we've been co-president for the last few years. So
great.
That's been exciting. So, and as I had mentioned to you in the email that, that we've been, gosh, this is what I lose track. This is our third group of elected officials, right? In that we started with the Coffee With series, and certainly the overall purpose is to give the voters and the community an idea of what the roles and responsibilities are of your position. And we post it on Facebook so that they are able to review and just, again, take a look at all of that. So, but we don't want everybody to be surprised, which is why we send the questions ahead of time. So you have a chance to prepare. But I'll just start out with the first one. So again, can you share information about the unique magnet schools in the district, including the early college high school? That was certainly the bond election has occurred now. And so can you elaborate on
Sure.
that?
Yeah. So, just as the community has transformed the facility environments over the past nearly 20 years, the district has been on a similar path, transforming the learning environments. And successful student outcomes remains the district mission always. And that mindset is totally paid off in terms of academic performance against the state's accountability system. But the district's implementation of the Pathfinder initiative has also assisted in providing students their choice in their educational experience, which is kind of cool. We offer traditional school experience, which is your comprehensive schools, which are your, kindergarten through 5th and 6th through 8th and 9th through 12th. But we also have innovative and choice programming, such as our two magnet schools, which are K through 8, one being Caldwell Arts Academy, and the other being Birdwell Dual Language. And those are the only of their kind in East Texas, which is really neat. And we're proud of that. We also have the Math, Science, and Technology Magnet, which is inside Moore Middle School. We have the Boshear Center for Exceptional Programs, and that serves severe and profound students. I was able to go to the graduation last week, and it was really, really neat.
Oh, okay.
And we have our CTC, our Career Technology Center for High School Career and Tech Education. And then, of course, our Early College High School, which it's an A rating school, and it's the top performing high school in East Texas. And that's where students can go and obtain an associate's degree from TJC while simultaneously graduating with a high school diploma. And in turn, that saves families a minimum of $30,000 in college costs, which we are so proud of. And we felt like the early college, with them being rated so high in our area, they were sharing a school with the Rise Academy, and we kind of thought they needed to have their own facility. So that's what we proposed in the bond, the Early College High School, which will be attached to the Career Technology, but different. But now the Early College High School can now use the career and tech education part of the CTC, which is nice. They haven't been able to use that before. So we're really, really excited about that.
Wow. Okay. I actually know personally several students that have done the early college program, and it's definitely an awesome opportunity.
And the numbers keep growing each year, which is why they needed a new facility too. So
okay. And so they'll be able to take part in some of the other programming. Is that what you said?
Yes, at the CTC Center with the career and tech education, which is great.
Okay.
What percentage would you say actually take advantage of that early college?
You know, we just graduated, I think this May. I want to say it was around 170 students. So, I mean, take 170 out of, both of our big high schools, it is a small percentage, but again, our numbers are growing. And I mean, it's pretty new. We haven't had it around for a long time. So our numbers are
Right.
growing. We are encouraging so many people to do it. And we've had great success with it.
So there's no other, I mean, as far as East Texas, to your knowledge, there's no other school districts that's doing that?
Not that I
early?
know of. I know
Okay.
that some of in the bigger cities, they do a program similar to that.
Okay.
But I don't think anywhere in the East Texas area, they do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great information. I've never heard it in the form of saving money, but that's
I know, yeah.
that's a big plus. You always think, oh, they're getting an extra degree out of it, but you don't think about the money that saves the family.
Yes. And
the
how
college
great for
cost.
those, especially for those families who may have never had a college degree come
Right.
through their family. And now they have the opportunity to go through high school, get their diploma, and also get a associate's degree. I mean, it's amazing. And they come out of that they can go straight into the workforce, and then they can continue their education.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's an awesome perspective, which we've asked this question many times, and that really
I don't
never
think we've
came
heard
out
that
way. So that's why we
perspective,
like
right.
to ask these questions.
Yeah.
Get different perspectives, and that's an awesome one. So I'm
Good.
going to lead into the next question, which is, what mechanisms does the district have in place or plan to put in place to encourage students from varied backgrounds and different schools to interact?
So on this question, you had stated there was recently a district-wide middle school dance, and I honestly had no clue what that was. And I asked the district, and they were like, we don't know of any district-wide middle school dance, but I do know that all the middle schools have dances within their middle schools. So maybe that was it. But, we are so lucky that we have such a diverse school district. And unlike many of the suburb districts struggling with transitioning into diverse school systems, we've been on that transformation for over 50 years. And I can say that confidently because my parents went to my dad went to Moore and Birdwell and Lee, and my mom went to Lee, and she went to Hubbard, and my kids now are in the district, and I went to Rice Hubbard Lee. And I can tell you from then till now, it has been we've had a very diverse school system, and that's the main reason why I send my kids to TISD. That is what I want them to be a part of. And maybe other parts of our community need to be assessed, but where in Tyler can you get those better experience than in our hallways, our classrooms, our lunchrooms, our playing fields, our chorale and orchestra halls, and our theater? They are mixed in, and they are within diverse students, and they are all learning about each other. And that is one of the main reasons why I send my kids to TISD.
Okay.
That is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So this next question is pretty big. So what do you see as the largest issues that will impact Tyler ISD students over the next 5 years? And what actions is the school board taking to address them?
So this is a hard question. And, we are so proud of our mission of successful student outcomes. And that is our goal every single day. And unfortunately, we have many, many distractions that are keeping us off that mission that are coming out of Austin. Red, blue, purple, whatever it is. We've got lots of things coming at us from all angles that, kind of get us off the path of students, or want us to get off the path of successful student outcomes and deal with all kinds of other stuff. And we as a board, we are so lucky that we all have the same laser focus, that we are successful student outcomes no matter what. And we have been able to continue the improvement of those outcomes. So we see many distractions, and it's a frustrating concern for us. But as a board, we know where we stand, and we know our end goal.
Okay. All right, great. Next question is related to the school board and the elected positions are nonpartisan. And what does that mean to you, both in your role as a school board member and in your role as a community leader?
So, I've been in lots of different organizations in Tyler. I've been the junior league president. I serve on the Children's Advocacy Board. I now am in the school board position. And I can tell you from any aspect of anything I do within those roles, my main goal is, and I'm always questioning myself, what am I doing for the better of who I am serving? So no matter what, and no matter what decision I have to make, I have to vote yes or no on, anything like that, any answers I have to answer, is it bettering the student? Is it bettering the teacher? Is it bettering our schools? Is it bettering our district? And no matter what side, I always keep that in my head when I am in this position and knowing who I am serving. And those are those kids.
Okay. Thank you.
That's awesome. Love to hear that. So how have the STAR test interruptions in the last 2 years or so changed how the district evaluates teachers and how the board evaluates itself?
So educator appraisals and the board's evaluation systems have not been impacted in Tyler ISD as we continue to focus on continuous improvement. Learning disruptions definitely were talked about in the media, and they were bounced around politically in DC and Austin and everything, but we were so focused on getting our students back to school as quickly as we could in front of our teachers and in person, and to get back on mission as quickly as possible. We were and are still assessed by the STAR the last 2 years, except for the spring of 2020 when we didn't have to take it. We have not had the disruption that the nation and urban centers have constantly experienced. And we've rather focused on how can we continue this academic improvement like we've seen since 2014. We've been so lucky that we have outperformed the state in all of our STAR tests, even with COVID. And that is a true testament of us getting back our students in front of our teachers in person and on mission and get them in the classrooms. And you can tell once we did that and we got back in, yes, there were struggles for students getting back in. We still met exceeded state expectations. And this past year, I'm almost positive we are going to come out on top. And we're so excited about that because everything we are doing is working.
So I think I have the last questions, and then Rubye will probably wrap it up. But you talked a little bit about this when you answered one of the other questions, but what kind of diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts are happening across the district? And you kind of referenced before the student population, but if we look at what the teacher population is, maybe that's a good place to start the conversation about that.
The teacher population?
Right. How are we meeting the students' needs given their diversity with the population of teachers that we have? Do they kind of mirror?
I truly believe so. I mean, when I go and, we have this beginning of school year in August, we always have the, and I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, but everybody gets together, convocation. And it's at Green Acres Baptist Church because it's so large and we have so many employees that it's the only place that will fit them. And you go and it's kind of a kickoff for the year and to get teachers engaged and ready for the year and everything. And it was my first time to go. And it was last year when I had just gotten on the board, and I've only been on the board for 3 months. And I stood up and I looked around, and you had every bit of every kind of person there. And again, that's why I love our district. And they are able to choose. I mean, they can choose that if they want to apply for a certain school, they can definitely apply for that school. It's not, one certain group goes to a certain school. It's not like that at all. I mean, it is everybody gets a chance at every school and to be a part of educating those kids everywhere. And I'm just proud of that. I'm proud that we've been on that transformation. You know, I do believe that there are some issues elsewhere, but I don't believe we have them in Tyler ISD.
Can I ask you, this is, and if you choose not to answer, that's fine. This is kind of related to the STAR test question a little bit in respect to, I'm actually working this summer with Mentoring Alliance and the camps that they're doing. And so I know that there's, you know, again, STAR test, it sounds like STAR test performance has improved. And I know that, you know, the whole COVID in-home learning, you know, that maybe works better for some students than others. But I also know that there are some populations that the scores are lower than others. And so do you feel that that is improving based on, you know, whatever strategies that are, I mean, are there newer strategies being used?
Yes,
now?
There are. And preliminary numbers showed that those groups of students are definitely improving. And what's great about these reports that we get, they can really dial down on grade, race, age, what are they struggling with? And then they can then go into the school and help those teachers identify other ways to help those kids learn, and maybe, you know, a different way of learning that might help them better and to be ready and prepared for the STAR test. So they also look at all kinds of different ways of learning and different teaching methods and stuff. And so they're really good about being innovative and getting those students up to par. And I think what they did from last year's results up to this year's results, and those mechanisms that they started putting in place in some of those classes, you can tell made a huge difference.
Okay. So hopefully we'll see those numbers continue to improve.
We hope so. I mean, that's always our goal. And we were very, very, very excited this year they aren't formally out yet, but we're very excited with the outcome. Very excited.
Okay, great. Any other questions or comments, guys, come to mind based on this conversation? Any other words of wisdom or light bulbs coming on about anything else?
No light bulbs.
No light bulbs, but I really appreciate the fact that you've only been on it for a few months. You seem like you jumped in.
Yes.
Got your feet set right away.
Well, it was a year in May. And so I've had a little bit over a year, and I've had to go to some of the conventions and everything. But yeah, you kind of jump right in and you learn a lot of stuff. And it's been so interesting to see just the back end of how a district works and everything that goes into it. And every decision made is, you know, those kids are in the in mind. And so it's been really, really rewarding. And I have really, really enjoyed it.
Were you surprised by some of the what you thought? Was some of what you thought yes, or some of what you thought no?
You know, I think the most surprising thing is you become, especially when you know so many your kids are in the district right now, like they're currently in the district and they're currently at 2 of the schools here. And then, you know, these parents have your cell phone number and they will call you about anything. But I always answer, and I don't mind answering as long as I can, you know.
Right.
So, but no, it's been very, very, very rewarding and just so interesting. And I'm honored to be here.
Great. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. And certainly, again, these are standardized questions, but it's great to get a whole different perspective on some things which you have provided.
Well, y'all are so sweet. And I really, really thank y'all for your time and inviting me to join y'all. And I really enjoyed it. I appreciate it.
All right, and we
Hope you feel
thank
better
you.
too. Thank you.
Thank
for-
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be fine.
All righty. Well, have a good rest of your day.
You
All right.
too.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
Bye, ladies. Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys.